Hello and welcome to Leash Dad's podcast. I am
Yeah.
Jared.
I'm Justin. We're back.
Yep, we are two leash dads that get together to discuss our everyday lives while chained to our parental responsibilities. And I'd like to apologize ahead of time, but I am not Mr. Positivity today. So take that for what it's worth. And there will be some F bombs coming from my mouth because I've had enough of what's going on right now. So my patience is very tiny. Like you would need an atom microscope or whatever you call that shit, atomic microscope or whatever, to see my patients right now. So
I just called a microscope, and hopefully it's like a nuclear microscope at that point, like like an industrial-sized microscope,
yeah,
the scientific microscope to see atoms. Yes,
mm-hmm.
it's probably got it probably is like the atomic or atom microscope, atomic resolution electron microscope.
There you go, electron microscope.
Utilize high power magnetic lenses to produce magnifying images of atomic details of matter. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, so he needs that apparently, guys. He's having a rough day, rough week, if that. So
Yeah, no, I would definitely after I signed in to my 9 to 5 again after vacation. I just all went to hell. So
dude, I feel like I have bags under my eyes right now.
don't we
Like
all? I mean,
I'm looking at my camera and I feel like I have bags under my eyes. But that's digressing from the point here.
how are you?
Okay, maybe that's not digressing. Um I don't know. I feel pretty tired right now. I think it's because I've had some like early mornings. Just my sleep's a little off, partially due to myself, but partially just I feel like I've had a rough couple nights of sleep because with the warmer weather, our house does get a little warmer in like our upstairs bedrooms and everything. So that doesn't help. And I feel like I think I went to bed. Oh God, what was it? A couple nights ago, I went to bed here, passed out, and then ended up waking up like 2 hours later, thinking I overslept. So it means I really got some good. It feels like I got some good sleep at that point, but at the same time, thinking to myself, it's like, holy crap, where did the time go? So, what the hell was that?
It was just something that was an ad that popped up on my phone, and I had to turn off the notifications from that
Oh,
stupid channel I just subscribed to.
you subscribe to a channel, huh?
I have a
Subscribe.
couple of them, but yeah, no, I mean, I feel you, especially with that house shit. It was pretty sunny, and I don't know, it was around like the high 60s on Sunday here, and I just always forget how much the sun, the house soaks up the sun. I mean, that
Yeah.
brick, it just soaks in the heat, and then the next day, it was mid 50s. All the windows were shut, and midday, with it was kind of overcast. It was still 70 in the house. It's like, what the
Oh.
hell?
Yeah. Ours isn't so much like the house itself because ours is um, more just a lot of that plastic siding and everything. But at the same time, our attic that we have is kind of like with that Cape Cod ish kind of house
Yeah.
where our rooms are slanted or whatever. Um, we have an attic in that area, and that does take up a lot of heat. Like it absorbs all the heat. Um, and then when for example, if we ever go into it, you can feel it. But if you also go into it during the winter, you can feel the coldness of it too. So
Mm-hmm.
and I know it's insulated, but it's also like insulated to the fact or the point where it probably could use a little more insulation to help keep itself from affecting
Right.
the house. Um, but yeah, no, it's interesting. But these past couple nights have just been bad. It just stays hot. So we even have like our fan running, And thankfully, I don't have we haven't turned on the AC yet either, and we don't necessarily want to unless it becomes ungodly bearable. Um, but we let's see here. We finally have a ceiling fan that doesn't make a shit ton of noise at night. We used to do a lot of box fan because our ceiling or Sam never liked our ceiling fan just because of the noise. But it's funny because the
Yeah.
box fan I think made more noise, but it could help her sleep at night because it's just the sound of the fan, not so much like a squeak, 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 squeak,
No, I can relate.
things like
I'm the
that.
same way.
Yeah. So, but that's that. Ooh, now that I think about it, I should check my daughter.
Yeah, and I just came back
She's
from
good.
vacation, as I said, and I was trying to observe the outside. I got the aisle seat for both flights, unfortunately. In fact, I even made an
Oh,
announcement
that
to the
sucks.
car on the way home so that next time we're on a flight, I am refusing the aisle seat because that was terrible. And I was trying to look out the window as we landed into O'Hare, and it was dusk, so it was you could see a lot still. And I was at a weird angle with my spine. Yeah, still hurting.
Like, could you show us what you mean by that?
So sitting in my chair, still landing in plane, hunched over and trying
Okay.
to look out the window, it still hurts.
So you're screwing yourself over. Got it. You're really hurting yourself there. That sucks. I mean, so I feel like I do that while I'm driving though too. I know it's different because you were trying to look out an airplane window, but I feel like when I was driving, I'll like start favoring my right butt cheek where I put more pressure on it versus my left. It's like, nope, come on, you just gotta sit straight and whatever. So
Right.
yeah, I mean, so tell me about your vacation then, because that's actually what we're gonna really focus on tonight is managing children while on vacation.
And that's what it came down to, really. I mean, when you're traveling with younger children under the age of like 10, I'd say, or maybe even 8. I mean, I'm not at a point where I can justify certain behaviors and stuff because of their age. Like, I don't know where the cutoff is when all this craziness and drama and breakdowns are going to stop, and it might not. But I'm just saying, like, when you have children who are very, they're constantly going, it's the vacation is more about trying to ensure that they themselves are having a good time,
Mm-hmm.
and you're just there monitoring the situation, kind of thing. And so I'll get into it a little bit more, but vacation, besides that, it was very eye opening, and I actually took a week off, a week and a day. So I was Monday to Monday, I was out, and I came back Tuesday, yesterday.
Right.
So I had 3 days, no, 2 days, 2 days, Monday and Tuesday, to kind of decompress myself from work, make sure we have all the shit ready for the bags and all that. Excuse me. And so I had been mentally preparing myself for getting on a plane. Now, I've only been on a plane maybe 4 times in my life, and it was a long time ago, as I may have stated previously. And I was kind of nervous, and then I realized, and my nervous energy was coming from the fact that if we crash, we're gonna die. But then I realized that they can fly a plane without an engine, and we're not flying over any major bodies of water, so we can land pretty much anywhere.
Fair.
so so that calmed me down a bit, and it was fine. And I got and then as I got closer to the date when we left, the anxiety of the airport in general, which I had not experienced, I believe, since 2001. And
Right.
TSA at O'Hare. I mean, getting to O'Hare was great. We parked our van at a very nice park and ride kind of thing, and it was gated. It was very safe. Recommended from a lot of people, And we took a shuttle there. And when we got there, it was pretty clear as to where we're going. And you
Okay.
just check your bags, and then you go straight to TSA, which took about 35 minutes of standing in line. My God. And the people only had like maybe 4 out of 8, half the lines open.
Yeah.
So it took longer. And then finally, as we were getting closer and closer to getting our turn, they opened up the other lines. It's like, seriously? Because, the
Assholes.
kids they don't understand that we have to stand in line. We have to do this or we can't go, kind of
Right.
thing. That we could get into trouble if we don't follow the rules at this. We could be asked to leave and lose a ton of money. They don't understand that.
Nope.
A line to them is just standing in one place, not doing anything. So, got through TSA, we had a really cool walk to our gate. We went underneath the tarmac and everything. There was a tunnel with lights and everything. So that was pretty cool. They enjoyed that. It was like a ride for them. And we had to wait. Thankfully, we had to wait a little bit for the plane to come. It was delayed, but I always say it's better to be there early than to be rushing and running with kids that you're late boarding your flight. So
Agreed.
we made sure we had extra time to do it. And then so they were really excited to go on the plane. They were looking at all the jets and stuff, and I was just as excited as they were because I'm a geek that way, but trying to name all the jets. But no, I wasn't. After I saw their enthusiasm and they did not flinch once with that, I knew they'd be fun on the plane, right? I knew they wouldn't be scared. I knew they wouldn't be crying because of the ear pressure or whatever, and that it's just a ride to them. Like it's just a ride.
Yeah.
So the first 2 hours were great. They were excited. They were doing their thing. They were reading. They were coloring, whatever. And then by hour 2, it's a 4-hour flight. Halfway through, they're all right. I'm done. I want to get off. I want to do something else. Let's get off. So they started to get really whiny, and they ate like maybe 5 bags of small chips each during that 4 hours, just because they were constantly munching. Probably because of the ears. I don't know. We fed them Dramamine and ourselves because we were just nervous about our stomachs,
Right.
not having experienced a plane in a long time. And other than that, we were able to just remain calm, folks. And when your kids are starting to freak, just whatever you do, especially if you're in public, don't lose your shit. Just present as much calm energy as you can and try to explain things as slowly and as clearly as possible. And if that's not working, what I found works, just comfort them. Just stroke their hair, hold their hand, whatever. They're nervous, they're anxious. Try to calm them down. Don't ramp them up by yelling at them or getting frustrated, because that will just bounce off them. And because at home I do the same shit. And actually today, despite my negative bullshit energy, there were some on the verge of meltdowns, right? And I just remained calm. I just said, no, let's focus on what we have going on here. We can't do that right now. It's time for homework. It's time for bed. We can talk about something else if you want to do tomorrow. So, and thankfully that worked. And it might have just been a fluke, but hey, it worked. And so we landed. That was fine. That we went to SeaWorld and the zoo, the San Diego Zoo. They were really unruly at the zoo. They were running around and just not being very cautious with all those people around,
Well, what do you
and
expect from
shoving their
children?
way into what?
What do you expect from children that are going to a zoo?
Right, right. And they weren't being very nice. They were pushing people out of the way, just being rude, and they got talked to a lot, and they were whiny and stuff, and all those food vendors really. I'm hungry. I'm hungry. I'm hungry. I want that. I want this. I want that. So that was interesting. But the zoo itself, from an adult perspective, I love it. I'd definitely go back for sure. It was beautiful, absolutely beautiful. The animals looked like they were healthy, well taken care of, and I saw koalas, people, my favorite animal, and they were so cute. They were sleeping, but they were still there, and I saw them, so it counts.
Counts. That counts.
And
They may not
then
have seen you, but you've seen them.
yep. Well, then we had so actually it was overcast and never broke 71 when we were there. And thankfully, the afternoon after the zoo, we were able to see some sunshine and head down to the open pool. There was no indoor pool, so we kind of braved it in like 69-degree weather with sun and swimming suits. And it was all right. I mean, we got cold, so there was a hot tub there. We just stayed in the hot tub like 75% of the time, and the kids were too because they were fucking cold.
Pussies.
Hey, what would you rather have a cold pool or a hot tub?
Both?
Yeah. I
Alternate
mean, I
between
like
the two
both.
of them? I don't
Yeah, I
know.
like doing that for sure. So they were very grateful that we were able to do that because we were not able to do it before we left after that, and that was on our second day, or that was on our first full day of being there. We didn't see the sun after that.
That stinks.
So I know, but and I told my wife too. I said, look, I'd rather have this weather, overcast and high 60s, than 85 and blaring sun and be absolutely dead to the world, by hour 3. I mean, that's just personal opinion, but when you're doing all that walking and you're doing all that outdoor stuff, being in the blazing sun like that just kills you. So,
Mm-hmm.
SeaWorld was great. They were very well behaved at SeaWorld until we went to the orca show. And
Did you see
for
Shamu?
Shamu itself is no longer. I think it passed away, but we did see 4 other orcas.
Oh.
I know. I mean, I could look to see, but I'm pretty sure
No,
like the
Shamu was a
announcers did
very
not say
Shamu was
Shamu.
like our time when we were kids,
Yeah.
for sure. Unless they renamed a orca Shamu, like they'll always have a Shamu, but I doubt that.
Mm, yeah. No. The original Shamu died, but
Yeah.
so the other show, they have the 3 main shows, right? They have the sea lion show, they have the dolphin show, and they have the orca show. And we went to all of them. We sat in the splash zone for each one,
Hmm.
and we sat kind of at the end of the splash zone for the sea lion show. For this dolphin show, we sat like a couple rows closer. We really didn't get wet. We got a few mists, but whatever. And for the orca show, we sat maybe 4 rows back from the stage, the tank, whatever. And they were handing out ponchos like, oh yeah, we're not going to need that. We barely got touched like the other shows. Well, about 6 minutes into it, we're drenched, and the trainers came by with the one whale that was doing all the splashing and waving onto the crowd and everything else, and it just one big wave just got us all, and the girls were so upset because it was cold salt water and they were not expecting to get absolutely drenched, and they were kind of upset. I mean, they didn't have any sun to dry them off. They were cold. They didn't have any towels. So I enjoy getting splashed to death by the orca, but they did not. So that was a meltdown. They were sad. We kind of missed half of the show because we had to walk up many, many, many flights, and it was a packed
Hmm.
show. So we had to find a spot at the tippy top to finish watching it. And
By the way, Shamu died in 1971.
yeah,
Shamu is just more or less a mascot or whatever
right.
for SeaWorld now. So, yeah, that's unfortunate because it means I never even saw Shamu. But sorry. Yeah, so that was a very long and wet trip up flight of stairs.
Yeah. So, but the orca show in general. I mean, I hope they treat those animals very nicely because I was a bit concerned, but they said they do it with positive reinforcement, and they had a massive tank to swim in. I mean, the sucker was huge, so I don't think that was an issue. But I just, I have concerns about animals like that but I think they were bred in captivity, so at least a couple of
Yeah.
them were. I know that.
Yeah.
Um,
Yep. They were
but
definitely
no,
bred in
they
captivity. So.
yeah, they put on a great show. Definitely, I'll never forget it for the rest of my life. And Natalie and I really like the dolphin show. She's a dolphin nut, so we got to spend a little bit of time before the show with the dolphins. We didn't get to swim with them. That's a bit expensive and not the right weather for that at all. And so it was really cool to see her get really into it as well. I mean, with the dolphin show, they had like 15, 16 dolphins like doing tricks
Yeah,
and jumping and everything. It was crazy.
nice.
Um, and then we went back to the hotel room. We tried to do a night out for eating, and I really wanted to go to a seafood place because that's really the only protein my wife can eat or will eat, and that didn't go over well. So we kind of walked in, saw how like it was going to be, and it was one of those places where you sit, order, and then you sit down, kind of thing, at a front desk. And I
Mm.
remembered, and next door there was a Mexican place, and my oldest loves tacos. Oh, let's just go get Mexican. Best Mexican food I've ever had in my life.
Oh
I
man.
mean, I should have and it was the restaurant was on Diners, Drive-ins, and Dives too, and I wish I would have known that before I ordered because I would have ordered what Guy did. Instead, I just got the freaking chicken enchiladas, which were amazing, by the way. But I really probably should have went off on a more adventurous order with my.
Nice.
You can't get Mexican food like that around here. No way.
No, probably not. Probably not at all. So yeah. So the vacation overall seems pretty good. I mean, what else? I mean, day one you were there. You were having fun already. Um, you guys were there for an entire week, right?
No, we were there for 4 days,
Oh, okay. 4 days and then came back.
and yeah. So and honestly, that was enough because after the last full day of activities, which was SeaWorld and the Mexican restaurant, or no, I think something like that, they were done. Like you could tell their scheduling because they're really strict on their schedules, and we are because that's how they function the best. Was just all fucked. I mean, you just the littlest shit would just set off a meltdown. I mean, I'm not even kidding. What Eleanor wanted to brush her teeth the morning of us leaving, and we had already packed all of the stuff up, and they were all packed neatly into the suitcase because they were check bags, and we had to make sure they didn't weigh over 50 pounds. So we had a certain things that went in, it was all packed. And then she did because she wanted to brush her teeth. Well, we're not going to unpack everything when we have only 10 minutes to check out of our hotel room. And
Right.
for that entire, had a meltdown for 25 minutes because she couldn't brush her teeth. Any other time, why do I have to brush my teeth? I don't want to brush my teeth.
Of a child, I swear.
I know, and Cora was no different. It's just they were fighting, they were arguing towards the end, and they just were not enjoying themselves at all. And I even said to Natalie, I said, I guess I didn't really know what I was expecting, and I was hoping that they'd be more inspired and awed by the surrounding mountains and hills and stuff like that and palm trees. They didn't care. No,
Yeah, I think
they
it's
they
I
really
think
did.
it's an age thing too. They're a little they
Yeah,
might still be a tad too young to enjoy the scenery.
right.
Um which I mean it's different though. Did you point it out to them at all?
Yes.
Like, hey, okay. I mean, I don't know because everybody's different. I think my kids if we were doing that at all, they would have enjoyed some of the scenery. Um just as we would point it out, for example, hey, look at the mountains. Oh, and they'd be like, where? Because we can do that even just for a regular ride. We'll see like deer and be like, look at the deer, and they'll like look for it. Like we'll point out to them what side it's on and everything in a car, and be like, yeah, look at the deer over on the left. They'll look. So, and it's not like they don't have anything to do in the car or the van.
Yeah.
They do. They have like we let them have their switches or anything like that when we go on some travels and everything. Um, just to help keep them entertained. When we take the van, we'll play movies because our vacations that we've done are always here within the state.
Okay.
Um, well,
Yeah.
as of recently, this upcoming summer, we're not going to. We're going to be going down to Florida. Yay! 26-hour drive. Woohoo! We're not flying, folks. We're driving. Um, that's going to be an adventure because it's going to be different. But needless to say, our past vacations have only been 3 hour trips, which is bearable. You just throw in a movie or two movies. We may stop. Well, we definitely stop. Uh, we'll stop in like Stevens Point, which is kind of like an hour or so into the trip. Grab some food. That's enough time. That might have been enough time for the movie to be over or close to over and whatnot. But we'll do that. We'll grab food, just stretch our legs, whatever, and then go again.
Yeah.
Um, I don't know how we're gonna do it this time though. I know with having two drivers, it'll be interesting. I think we're gonna try to do some stops along the way. Um, our plan really is to probably leave after I'm done with work on Thursday. I mean, my work schedule for that week is supposed to be work Monday through Friday, but I'm basically relinquishing my Friday for that month, and then we'll leave Thursday night or whatever. It'll be very interesting to see how the kids handle it, just because it is going to be a 26-hour drive. Sam and I are planning to stop somewhere along the way so the kids can enjoy some experiences, like somewhere within different states, so like Tennessee or things like that, depending on where we want to stop. Um, and then maybe over that time too, we go to Disney World. Who knows? Who knows? But there are things to do. Um, we'll see how they all really behave. Uh, I guess I'm a little concerned about Disney World though, just because our daughter is way too young to enjoy anything there. Like she wouldn't be able to do anything at all. And I think
Right.
I think our children are still on the shorter side for some of the things.
Yep.
So I know they do have kid stuff, but come on, I'm looking at doing freaking, depending on where we go, like Tower of Terror or
Yeah.
um the Rockin' roller coaster with like uh Ario Speedwagon and everything.
Yeah.
Um those are like iconic to me, classic roller coasters to me, and you can't miss out. You don't want to miss out on those at all.
No.
Maybe we if we go to like Animal Kingdom or something like that, we'll hopefully be able to see like the shows or whatever they have going on there. Um, but it would definitely be very interesting to see how they behave, because this will be the first time they go on a vacation out of state.
Yeah,
Um,
so yeah, you're venturing on something that I just did, and I guess if I had any advice, like just try to remain calm. I know that throughout the entire vacation, Natalie and I's patience just kept getting lower and lower. Our tolerance just kept on diminishing,
mhm.
and we started to get visibly angry and upset, especially during that toothbrush shit. And we were, I think, because when we got on the plane to go home, it was still the same thing where you had to remain calm because you didn't want them flipping out. But I guess just try and make sure that they themselves are all mentally okay, because I guess
Yeah.
that's what we didn't do. And as we didn't do our homework either, because we thought SeaWorld would be some sort of, more of an aquarium and more of a show type thing. But no, it's an amusement park, and there were roller coasters and everything else. And we just had to flat out say, I'm sorry, we can't go over there and ride those rides. You're too small. And not to mention, they don't take cash, so we'd have to pay with a card again, and it's just not in the books. We weren't planning
Yeah,
on going on rides and shit, and you're too small.
well, you would get tickets though, wouldn't you? Or I don't
I
remember
I
how that
didn't know.
worked.
I avoided that area like the plague.
Yeah. You just went and saw the shows because you prepaid for those shows already, right? Or whatever.
No, they were included in the ticket prices.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Yep,
So,
they were free. So
yeah,
we walked around and saw a bunch of the tanks and stuff, and then we saw the shows, just because we had seen all the stuff already, and there was a guy standing outside the Sea Lion show, and hey, come on in. I was like, oh, okay, I want to sit down, and they're complaining that they don't want to walk anymore, so let's go sit.
Yeah, exactly. I feel like that's what it would happen with my children too. It's more or less like I'm tired. I mean, I'm sure the kids will do a lot of sleeping in the car
My
on the
feet
way
hurt.
down.
Oh,
Yeah.
I
So
can't walk.
it'll be interesting to see what they do. That's another big thing too. It's like I remember being in Disney World when I was younger and my feet were killing me. And it wasn't because, I'm like 11 years old or anything like that and I'm tired of walking. It's because my feet were really killing me because they were waterlogged.
Oh,
Like they were waterlogged so bad. We had to actually go buy me a new pair of socks. Don't know how they got so bad, but they got really, really bad. And then all of a sudden I
oh
put new
shit!
socks on and yeah,
Wow.
when you get like, when you're in the bath and everything, right? And your feet get, or you start losing, the waterlog because of
Yeah,
yeah, that was how bad it really got. Really bad. Like every step I took, it felt like I was walking on blisters, basically, or open blisters. So, and I wasn't really tired. It was just the waterlogged feet so bad, and wasn't comfortable. It wasn't just the toes or the tips of the toes. It was the palm of the foot.
the soul. Yeah,
Yeah, this well, not really the sole or the indent, but yeah, I guess it was still the sole of the foot. So it was almost like the entire foot at that point. So yeah, but it'll be interesting to see how my kids behave on a vacation outside of the states or outside of Wisconsin for once. Um, I mean, usually we just let them run around like rambunctiously. Um, play at the sand. They would play at the beach or anything like that. Go on boat rides. This time we'll see what they do. There are some activities that we are looking into down while we go down to Florida. Um, like I think it'd be fun to take them to the medieval night show where they have like 4 nights doing like a dinner. It's a dinner and a show essentially, um, where 4 nights basically compete, like they did in the old days. So I don't know how that I remember that at all, but that was really fun when I went and saw it once. Um, Disney World, maybe, all depends. Uh, but apparently very expensive. I'm talking like thousands of dollars expensive just for a day.
that's not cheap at all.
No, but everybody, if anything, are like our entire family, not just like my family, but my dad, like my parents, my aunt and uncles, my cousins. We would all have we all have to go on on the same day to Disney World. We can't just be like, all right, one day my cousins go, the next day I go, or anything like that. That way we can all kind of be like, if we all go on the same day, great, because then we can plan for that, and because we like to do like family dinners, like one family will cook one day, the next will cook another day, and things like that. So, um, rather, if we were to all go to Disney World different days, it's like, okay, well, do we plan on you being home or back here? No. Okay, well then fine. You guys just won't need find your own shit. So we're trying to basically avoid doing that.
Okay.
Um, so yeah, but the kids I think will enjoy it. They're super excited as well. Um, there's just going to be so many activities for them to do. Their schedule is going to be thrown off, um, because they're probably just going to be energetic the entire time while we're down in Florida. So, but it's never a bad thing. Again, though, keeping patience is going to be very critical. Um, but normally they are pretty well behaved for any type of vacation we go on. So I wouldn't say I'm too worried, but I can definitely keep you updated once we get there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you have anything else? I mean, managing young children is very difficult when you go on a vacation, especially if they're not showing any type of interest. or um, it's like, I mean, there's always that first time experience, right? What if this is a continuous thing? They will eventually adapt to it and they will know how to behave.
Correct.
Or you start setting expectations as well, and they start,
Yep.
learning those expectations. But kind of hard thing to do when you first do it, and both parents and children are learning the expectations.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I had a really stern conversation with him before we went into SeaWorld and just kind of set the scene for what didn't work yesterday at the zoo and what will do a little bit better this time
Right.
at SeaWorld. And maybe that resonated with him. I don't know. Try it out.
Maybe. Yeah, try to
Let me know how it goes. Let us know.
have a conversation with your children before you do anything, especially young ones.
Yeah.
As they get older, yeah, you still want to set expectations because they're going to want to probably do their own thing, but also make sure they still are staying with the family if anything as well, or if they need anything. You guys set a meeting spot. That would be good. Young children, always try to keep them together. Like, you obviously keep stay next to them, but
Yeah.
um, don't, again, to Jared's point, never get frustrated with them. It's just not, you're both there to have fun, get away from wherever you're from, even if it is just for like a day or anything like that. You're just set the expectations, clear expectations.
Yep.
Don't just set expectations. Make sure the expectations are clear. Otherwise, it's going to cause a lot of frustration. I could see that. I mean, it doesn't matter if it's on vacation or not. At home, you could have problems. Like, I know I've had problems where some expectations of ours may have been there, but they weren't clear, so it causes a little bit of uh, problems with the children, and then therefore frustration starts rising with the adults. So yeah.
All right.
Anything
Well, I
else
got
you want
nothing
to?
else. No.
No. All right. Well, folks, you know the drill. Tell us what you like, what you don't like, anything like that. If you have any questions, by all means, leave them. Uh, there is an update here. Spotify for podcasts and everything is now joined together. This is more or less just on my end, but everything is kind of conjoined. Um, but if you need to, just you can always leave a message on Spotify, email us, YouTube comments, things like that. I have no longer been posting videos on TikTok because of the whatever was going around. I don't think that's necessarily true. So TikTok videos might resume again here, but we'll see. So, anyways, that's all from us here at Leash Dads. We'll see you all next time. Enjoy.